mark of the beast, the devil. We've seen scientists calling for Mogoeng's impeachment over this, what they call a vaccine conspiracy. And some are saying that there were many deranged elements to the Chief Justice's speech last week. And this comes at a very difficult time when the entire world is at loss with regards to COVID-19 and the pandemic. And we see the race for vaccinations that is taking place at this point in time. Who is going to get first to the finishing line? And this morning, to talk about these troublesome statements over the vaccine, we're joined on the line by a columnist for various publications, Mohamed Saeed. Brother Mohamed, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Welcome to the show.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. And salams to you and to all your listeners.
Yes, Jazakallah to you for joining us this morning. Now, Brother Mohamed Saeed, let's talk about the statement. And I know you've written about this in saying that these are troublesome statements.
Yes, correct. I said these are troublesome statements because, you see, at the moment, almost every household has got an issue with the COVID-19 virus. Either a family member is not well, or your neighbor is not well, or somebody is not well in this whole thing. So here we expect, especially our leadership in the form of religious leaders, community leaders, senior judges, etc., to make responsible and rational and balanced statements, and not stir the pot more and give rise to unnecessary conspiracy theories and all these things that we hear on social media.
Yes. Now, we know the Chief Justice, Mogoeng, has been a controversial figure, and he is quite a religious figure because we know many of his views are inspired by his faith and not the Constitution and not rationality as far as the country is concerned, as far as the Constitution goes. And we've seen in the past also he's made statements with regards to Israel, his views on the Palestinian struggle for freedom and human rights, and he's come under fire. And this is worrisome when it comes from somebody in a position, the stature, the status of the Chief Justice of the country.
You see, I agree with you, and it's absolutely correct. You see, in the end, all of us have our own reservations with many issues. But especially now when you are in a public position, when you are in a position of authority, or as they say, when you are in a position of power, then you have to be very careful of the statements that you make, because these things can lead to misconceptions. It can lead to many other things. And in a country like ours, like where although we are a literate community, but we are also unliterate. In the sense, just to qualify what I'm saying is that you take the social media. Anything I receive, I'll just forward it to you. You receive it, you forward it to somebody else. And then we begin to believe this. Now, in a country like ours where HIV is so high, TB is so common, many other diseases are so common, we need to have all these statements controlled in a way where we give correct guidance.
Exactly. I think also the when you look at the response, and when one looks at the reaction to the statements, and many are saying that he's not just wrong but also dangerous. And I think this is where the problem comes in, because when dangerous statements are made, you put a large section of the population at risk. And also in your piece that you've written, you even cite the example of Manto Shabalala Msimang when during the Thabo Mbeki era, with regard to the misguided theories regarding HIV/AIDS. And we know that South Africa obviously ended up with the highest incidence of AIDS right across the entire world. And now we've got this deadly unseen virus called the COVID-19. And here we are now sitting with statements like these once again.
Correct. You see, at that time when Shabalala made all those statements, it not only was dangerous, eventually we even became a laughing stock in the world. Other countries began to laugh at our statements. And even I clearly remember at that time, small children in school were laughing about it. So that is why our leadership need to make very responsible statements. And this is what I'm trying to say.
Exactly. Now, when you are looking at where we are at this point in time, and you also make this point in your article where you say that, obviously you have witnessed many deaths. You've seen the witness even the death of your father, and Allah grant him Jannah, Allah police Kabul
Yeah.
with Noor, Allah grant him forgiveness as well. And at the same time, these are scary moments for all of us, because all of us at some stage, we know of someone we've lost in the family, someone in the community. And at the end of the day, as Muslims, we do believe that cure comes from Allah Ta'ala, and vaccines are a means of that cure as well. So this is something that, despite what we hold personally in terms of, what our belief systems are, what our theories are, but when you are in the public space, it becomes dangerous. It is very, very dangerous when these statements are made.
Yes. Now, you see, if you see in the letter of mine that I have written, I said that the vaccine cannot be forced on any individual. So it's completely and entirely up to you whether you want to take it or whether you don't want to take it. And likewise, the vaccine alone won't be sufficient to stop the pandemic. We also need other important protocols to be in place. For example, like whatever the guidelines the medical fraternity is giving us, we need to carry out all those things. And on the other side, to the pharmaceutical companies, the government, etc., also need to be a bit more transparent and to get the assurance, or give the assurance to the public that we are transparent. These are the harms, these are the benefits. All these things need to be transparent so we can win over the public.
Exactly. And I think this is the key issue here, is because we know that although Justice Mogoeng may be a legal expert, but the points of discussion that basically come in is here we're talking about religion versus science, and, making judgments when we are obviously, he is a legal person. He's not, he may be deeply religious and subscribing to a certain belief system. But when it comes to science, when it comes to medical science, and trying to obviously draw this comparison between religion and science, and when making a specific statement, talking about having the mark of a beast or the mark of a devil. Now, clearly, this is now taking it to another level, Brother Mohammed.
Yes, 100%. See, like, for example, let's take us for example. When this vaccine is released, the first thing our community will ask whether it's halal or whether it has any haram ingredients in it or not. So from now, we're supposed to be looking at it, and the pharmaceutical companies must be more transparent. So our people can also look at it to see how it is. And we are supposed to be ready. Once it's rolled out, it must be rolled out to all types of people, the rich, the poor, people who can afford it, can't afford it. But the main thing I believe at this stage, and here I agree with the Chief Justice, that there must be transparency in all these vaccine trials, etc.
I think it's a very important point that you are raising, and particularly for us as a Muslim community, there's a lot that we need to think about right now, because we know that this vaccine race is heating up at this point in time. We're hearing globally about over 170 of these vaccines are at various stages of trials. We know that there are 4 in particular that we've learned recently where there is this huge race to the finishing line. We've seen right across many countries around the world where vaccines are already being rolled out. And this is the type of discussion that we as a Muslim community should be having, instead of waiting right at the 11th hour when the vaccine is rolled out and suddenly we have all these debates taking place. And and these debates have the tendency of creating a lot of disunity, a lot of division within our community. So these are the discussions that we should be having right now.
Correct. See, like, for example, if you read recently, I think in South Africa, Johnson & Johnson is one of the first companies that has registered or is going to register the vaccine, right? I'm not sure which one it is. So by now, we're supposed to already create amongst the ulama fraternity, our doctors, etc. We need to start this discussion that the vaccine is going to be soon available. What is the Muslim position with this whole thing?
Well, certainly, definitely. And I think this is somewhere where we will possibly have to engage with our medical fraternity. We have got our own bodies, we've got the Islamic Medical Association, and these are the discussions that we need to start having at this point in time. And we've got specialists also, Brother Mohammed, in the area of vaccines as well. And
Yes.
like you said, these are important issues rather than, go through this whole process. And we know what has happened in the past. We know what, even with regard to the masjid closures during the height
Yes.
of this pandemic, during the height of the lockdowns, what this has actually caused, the rift it has caused, the disunity it has caused among the Muslim Ummah. And I don't think we can afford this type of reaction or this type of behavior from our communities.
Correct. I agree with you. And therefore, my call is this, that you and I are not muftis, we're not ulama, so we cannot really comment on whether it's permissible or not permissible. What I am saying is that at this point in life, at this point in time, we need to have this discussion. We need to engage with the relevant people so that, as you correctly mentioned, that when the time the vaccine is available, that's the time we don't start the debate.
Jazakallah for that, Brother Mohammed. And really, it's been an absolute pleasure talking with you this morning here on Assalam Media. We wish you all the best, inshallah. Allah keep you safe. And please remember, du'as. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
That was Mohamed Saeed joining us out of Pietermaritzburg this morning, and this piece that he had written about these troublesome statements made over vaccines. And he raises a very, very valid point where this is the Chief Justice Mogoeng, who cited religion as a backup to the statement that he has made with regards to his thoughts, his views on the COVID-19 vaccine. And this could easily become a discussion point with other religious groups. And for us as a Muslim community, this is something that we need to think about, because I am certain, I am 100% sure that this is going to be a major discussion point. And rather be forewarned and rather do your homework right now, because by the time this vaccine is rolled out, then we're going to have all sorts of issues, all sorts of problems. And that, again, relates to further division, further discussion, further debate amongst the community. The time is just gone 9:33 a.m. We come back, we'll be joined by Kwara Kekana.